You are now unmuted.
Hello everyone, welcome to Plutus IAS. So today in our National Daily Analysis and UPSC topic analysis, we are going to analyze some important topics from UPSC prelims and mains perspective. So the topics that we are going to analyze for the day are, okay, number one, we will look into the Climate Ambition Summit 2020. Okay, so recently this Climate Ambition Summit 2020 was held. So we will understand about the highlight of this particular summit, and this topic is very important from environment and ecology perspective. Okay, it is important for the prelims exam of 2021 plus mains exam of General Studies paper 3 of 2020. Okay, the next topic that we are going to understand is Bullion Exchange Regulations of 2020. Okay, so we will understand about this Bullion Exchange Regulations 2020. What do we mean by bullion? These are the coins of gold and silver. Okay, so when we talk about gold coins or silver coins, okay, how they are going to be regulated, how the exchange in the bullion, okay, are going to be regulated. So for that purpose, Bullion Exchange Regulations 2020 has been released. So we will understand about it in detail. It is a topic which is important from economy perspective, Indian economy perspective. Okay, so it is important for next year's prelims exam as well as this year General Studies paper 3. Okay, under economy section. Then the next topic that we will understand about is explanation with reference to why did the Mount Everest's height change. Okay, so why did the height of the Mount Everest change? So we are going to understand the explanation to understand answers to this question. Okay, it is a very important topic from geography perspective. Okay, as you know that geography is one important area, okay, in your prelims exam as well as General Studies paper 1 of your mains exam. Okay, then the next topic that we are going to understand is birding in India. Okay, recently there was a virtual summit, okay, by the Ministry of Tourism in India. So in that perspective, birding in India was in news, and it is a very important topic from environment and ecology perspective. Along with that thing, it is also important, okay, for economy perspective, means like it is a topic with reference to ecotourism. Okay, so we will understand, okay, environment and ecology plus economy perspective. Okay, this topic, it is important for your prelims as well as General Studies paper 3. Okay, then the next topic that we are going to understand is about a clarification, okay, by the scientists related to the origin of Pretosaurs. Okay, Pretosaurs, these are the dinosaur era flying reptiles. Okay, so as we know that dinosaurs were the animals that ruled over the land, but at that particular time period there was Pretosaurs that were flying on the sky. So we will understand about the scientific clarification related to the origin of Pretosaurs. Okay, so these are the important topics that we need to look into detail today. Okay, so we are going to understand about the first topic now. Okay, so let us go ahead and understand about the Climate Ambition Summit of 2020. Okay, so recently the Prime Minister of India has released a message. Okay, so we are going to decipher the text of the Prime Minister of India's message at the Climate Ambition Summit 2020. Okay, so this was a summit which was held together, okay, by the United Nations and the France government of France and UK government along with two other governments. Okay, so this Climate Ambition Summit is a very important topic from environment and ecology perspective. Okay, so let us understand about this particular Climate Action Summit in detail. So recently the United Nations, the United Kingdom and France have co-hosted, okay, they have co-hosted the Climate Ambition Summit of 2020 in partnership with Chile and Italy. Okay, they have co-hosted the Climate Ambition Summit 2020 in partnership with Chile and Italy. So it is important for you to remember that United Nations, United Kingdom, France, Chile and Italy, they were the co-host, okay, for the Climate Ambition Summit 2020. And this is a monumental step on the road to the United Kingdom's hosted COP26, okay, next November in Glasgow. Okay, so like we will understand like how it is associated with the Conference of Parties. Okay, so this summit marks, okay, this particular summit marks the 5th anniversary of the Paris Agreement. Okay, the Paris Agreement is considered as the most ambitious step in our fight against the climate change. Okay, so this summit marks the 5th anniversary, means like it has been 5 years since the adoption of the Paris Agreement. Okay, so what are the progresses made by India in this regard, in with regard to like mitigating the climate change, and what are the efforts made by India? We are going to discuss about that thing. So these efforts, okay, were highlighted by the Prime Minister of India in the Climate Ambition Summit of 2020. Okay, so Prime Minister of India said that India is not only on track to achieve its Paris Agreement targets but to exceed them beyond the expectations. Okay, we have reduced our emission intensity by 21% over the 2005 levels. Our solar capacity has grown from 2.63 gigawatts in 2014 to 36 gigawatts in 2020. So our renewable energy capacity is the fourth largest in the world. Okay, so these are the progresses made by India that was highlighted by the Prime Minister. Along with this, the Prime Minister of India has also highlighted that it will reach 175 gigawatts before 2020, and we have even more ambitious targets now. Okay, 450 gigawatts of renewable energy capacity by 2030. We have also succeeded in expanding our forest cover and safeguarding our biodiversity. And on the world stage, India has pioneered two major initiatives. Okay, what are the initiatives that were brought by India? One is the International Solar Alliance, and second is Coalition for Disaster Resilience Infrastructure. Okay, International Solar Alliance and Coalition for Disaster Resilient Infrastructure. So these are the two major initiatives by the government of India. In 2047, India will celebrate 100 years as a modern independent nation. And the Prime Minister of India has also said that to all my fellow residents of this planet, I will make a solemn pledge today. Okay. Then he said like Centennial India will not only meet its own targets but will also exceed your expectations. So these are the highlights that were made by Prime Minister of India in this thing. And along with this, you also know that Government of India has mooted the idea of one one sun, one world, one grid. Okay, so this is a kind of initiative where Government of India is trying to partner with all the countries, okay, that are in the tropical regions as well as subtropical regions, so that like we can collectively harness the potential of solar energy. Okay, one sun, one world, one grid. Okay, this is an initiative. This initiative is still in the consultation stage, but in near future we can see that this particular conceptualization or this initiative may actually be materialized in the coming future. Okay, if you want to learn more, you can follow this reference link from Press Information Bureau, and you can also visit this reference link. It will take you to the Climate Ambition Summit 2020. So having understood the first topic, let us move to the next topic now. We will understand about bullion exchange regulations of 2020. Okay, so bullion means like these are gold or silver coins, okay, that are issued by banks, and like like we find these gold coins, silver coins through banks, but like how the exchange in the bullion is going to happen, they are going to be regulated by International Financial Services Centers Authority, okay, through a regulation. Okay, they have recently released a regulation for the year 2020. So we will understand in detail about it. Okay, so what is the context in which it was in news? that the International Financial Services Centers Authority has notified, okay, Bullion Exchange Regulations 2020. Okay, so this International Financial Services Centers Authority comes under the Department of Economic Affairs, Ministry of Finance, Government of India, and it is located in the gift city Gandhinagar, Gujarat. Okay, so in the gift city Gandhinagar, Gujarat. So this is the address also of that International Financial Services Centers Authority. Okay, and apart from this, let us understand like what about the regulations. Okay, so what is the context? We will understand in the Union Budget of 2020, the Union Finance Minister, okay, um, the Union Minister of Finance and Corporate Affairs, her name is Srimati Nirmala Sitharaman. She made an announcement for setting up an international bullion exchange at the International Financial Services Center in Gift City, Gandhinagar, Gujarat. Okay, so there was an announcement to set up an international financial services center in Gandhinagar. Okay, and this announcement was made in the Union Budget of 2020. So that's why later on they have created that International Financial Services Center, okay, authority in the Gift City, Gujarat. So where is Gujarat located? Gujarat is considered to be the westernmost state of India. Okay, here you can see over here that this is the map of India. This is this, like it seems to be mouth of a lion. So this is actually Gujarat. So this is this is the map of Gujarat. So this International Financial Services Center, it comes under the Ministry of Finance. You need to remember this information also. Now we will understand in detail about it, okay, about the regulations. So if we talk about the notification, okay, just after the announcement, okay, subsequently the government of India had notified the bullion export delivery contact and bullion depository receipt, okay, with with bullion as underlying as a financial product and related services as the financial services under the International Financial Services Authority. It simply means that after the notification, the government of India has notified that spot exchanges related to bullion and all other contractual things related to bullion will be considered as part of depository receipt. Okay, and it will be considered as a financial product and it will be related to the financial services under the International Financial Services Centers Authority. Okay, so there was an act. So this International Financial Services Centers Authority is a statutory body. Okay, so this body has been created under the International Financial Services Centers Authority Act 2019. And this IFSCA means International Financial Services Centers Authority has been entrusted with the responsibility of operationalization of this particular exchange. Okay, in this regard, International Financial Services Centers Authority, okay, Bullion Exchange Regulations 2020 were approved by the authority in its meeting that was held on October 27, 2020. Okay, the said regulation had been notified and published in the Gazette of India on December 11, 2020. Okay, so let us understand about the regulation. The regulations cover the bullion exchange, clearing corporations, depository and vaults. Okay, the regulations are divided into 16 chapters. Okay, the first half of the regulations deal with the exchange and clearing corporations, while the second half pertains to the vaults and depositories and related provisions. Okay, the complete text of the notified regulation is available on the International Financial Services Centers Authority website over here. If you want to learn more about this particular regulation, you can click on this particular link, or you can also visit our Press Information Bureau link. Okay, so using both the links, you will get to know more about these regulations, okay, that were released. I already discussed what do we mean by bullion. Okay, so for the management of the exchange regulations, okay, related to exchange, clearing corporation, depository and vaults, their regulations has been released and they have been divided into two parts, and I have included a link of those regulations. If you want to learn more, you can visit this particular link. Now let us move to the next topic. We will understand why did Mount Everest's height change. Okay, why did the height of the Mount Everest change? Okay, we are going to understand. So before that, let us understand where is Mount Everest located. Okay, where is Mount Everest located? So Mount Everest is located in Nepal. So Nepal is a country over here. It is a Asian country, you can see. Okay, it is a South Asian country basically. So it is, just above India, like just above India, you can see in this particular map. Okay, recently the height of Mount Everest has been officially revised, and the height of the Mount Everest has increased by a little amount. Okay, so we are going to understand in detail why did the height of the Mount Everest change, like why it is changing. Okay, we are going to discuss. So what is the context? China and Nepal recently agreed on a new standard height of Mount Everest, okay, which is the rugged Himalayan peak that straddles their border. Means like this Mount Everest actually makes border of China as well as Nepal. Okay, they jointly presented the new official figure of 8,848.86 meters. Okay, so this is the new revised height of Mount Everest, 8,848.86 meters, which is equivalent to 29,031.69 feet above the sea level. Okay, so when we measure the height of the Mount Everest with reference to the sea level, we get this particular height, 8,848.86 meters. Okay, which is equivalent to 29,031.69 feet above the sea level. Let us understand some additional information with reference to this notification by China and Nepal. Okay, so now the world's highest mountain is now officially a little higher. Okay, and that might not be the end of the story. We are going to understand more about it. Okay, so now it sounds that the height is very definitive, means like after they have officially released it, it sounds that it is very definitive. But the thing is, the height of Mount Everest is continuously changing. Sometimes it increases, sometimes it decreases. Why it increases? It increases because of tectonic activities. Okay, when the like Indian plate actually, plate of the Indian subcontinent, moves towards, the Asian plate. So what happens? The height of Mount Everest increases, but at the same time, earthquake activities, lead to the reduction of the height of Mount Everest. Okay, so the thing is, simultaneously the height of the Mount Everest may increase and may decrease over a period of time. Okay, so the thing is, geological changes are very complicated. Okay, and the business of measuring the height of mountain, okay, is very difficult. Okay, and the thing is, there are varying criteria. There are different criteria that are set by different, countries to measure the height of mountains. As we can see, that height of the Mount Everest is measured with reference to, sea level. Like above the sea level, we are measuring the height of the Mount Everest. And at the same time, if we compare the height of Mount Everest with some other, mountains in the world, they have set different criteria. But according to their criteria, their mountain is higher than, Mount Everest. In some cases, people measure the height of the mountain from the root of the mountain itself. In some cases, people measure the height of the mountain from the core of the earth. Okay, so there are different criteria for measuring the height of, mountains. But when we compare, the height of Mount Everest above the sea level with any other mountain, so this comes out to be the highest peak in the world. Okay, so this is the thing. So we will understand little more about it. So I have included our, infographic for you. So in your free time, you can actually, yeah, you can actually, pause this particular video and learn about this particular thing. That even, okay, so as I said, that Mount Everest's height of Mount Everest is 29,031.69 feet above the sea level. So what is the height in which, like a commercial jet airplane move, or like commercial airplanes move? They move at a height of around 35,000 feet, okay, above the sea level. So like they still move around, 6,000, feet above the Mount Everest. So the thing is, there is no point of collision. Okay, so it may happen because of some kind of, like some kind of technical errors, but the thing is still the airplanes move way above the height of the Mount Everest. This is one thing. So official altitude is 29,000, like more than 29,000 feet above the sea level. So they have measured the height, from the summit, like they have measured the height of the summit from the, sea level, and they have measured this particular height. And the thing is, over the summit also, we find some kind of, like ice deposit. Okay, so like ice sheets have covered the summit also. So they, they approximate this particular height, and they, subtract the height of the the thing, height of the this ice sheet over the peak of the Mount Everest. Okay, so let us understand about geological ups and downs with reference to, measuring the height of Mount Everest. Okay, so the thing is, mountains height changes, the movement of tectonic plates can lift up the, the mountains, but earthquakes can bring the height of the mountains down. Okay, so these are the forces that are, like that have opposing effect. So they have opposing effect. The countervailing forces may help maintain a degree of stability over a time. So the thing is, one of the forces is movement of tectonic plates, other is earthquakes. So these are countervailing forces, so they can maintain the stability, okay, in the height of the Mount Everest over a period of time. So the thing is, nature tends to strike a balance. Okay, as an example, okay, a massive 1934 earthquake, means like there was an earthquake in 1934. It had wiped out 150 years of steady height increase in a few moments. Okay, so there was steadily, the height of Mount Everest was increasing over a period of 150 years. But the thing is, there was a massive earthquake in the year of 1934. It has, wiped out all the increases in the height of the Mount Everest within, few moments, like within minutes. That's the thing. So the thing is, these forces are opposing in nature, and at the same time these forces are, like balancing each other. Okay, so how do we measure the mountains? Okay, there are different criterias we will understand. Okay, so there are more than one way to measure a mountain. Last year, a Nepalese team, means like a team from Nepal, okay, they set up a satellite navigation marker on Everest peak to gauge its exact position via GPS satellite. And later on, a Chinese team undertook a similar mission. Okay, and they used the Chinese made Baidu constellation. Okay, Nepal used the GPS satellite system, China used Baidu constellation of navigation satellites along with other equipment. Okay, at the same time, Nepalese crew took measurement with modern laser equipped version of instruments called theodolites. Okay, so Nepalese people, okay, the team from the Nepal, they have used modern laser equipped versions of instruments. These instruments are called theodolites, and they first used to gauge the mountain's height in 1856 by measuring angles using trigonometry. Okay, so when we talk about 1856, they measured the height of Mount Everest using trigonometry, but now they are using modern laser equipped instruments. Okay, the Nepalese team, okay, the team from Nepal also used ground penetrating radar to measure the amount of snow and ice that sits on the top of its highest rock. So measuring the height above the sea level has always been tricky because ocean levels vary considerably depending on the tides, magnetism, and other factors. Then rising sea levels are creating another factor for future measurements. Okay, so sea level is also changing. Okay, so rising sea level is rising, but the thing is, at the time of measurement, if there is a tide, okay, so it will, bring some error in the measurement. So these are the concerns that are associated with the measurement of height of a mountain. Okay, so as measured from the Earth's core, Ecuador's Mount Chimborazo, Ecuador is a country in South America. It has a mountain, its name is Mount Chimborazo is the world's highest mountain that is standing more than 2072 meters, okay, or 6800 feet above Everest, okay. So if we measure it from the Earth's core, because the earth bulges in the middle, mountains along the equator are farther from the core, okay. So if we measure from the earth's core, the equator's mountain, which is Mount Chimborazo, is the world's highest peak, okay. If we measure above the sea level, the Mount Everest is the world's highest peak. Then if we measure from the foot of the mountain, okay, to the peak, measuring from the foot of the mountain to the peak, Hawaii's Mauna Kea is the tallest mountain in the world, okay. So the thing is, most of it is undersea. Most of the, Hawaii's Mauna Kea is undersea. So the thing is, there are various criteria for measuring the height of a mountain. If you want to learn more, you can follow this reference link from The Hindu. Okay, you can follow this reference link from The Hindu. Now let us move to the next topic for the day. Okay, so we will understand about birding in India. Okay, birding in India is an important topic. What is the context? Recently the Ministry of Tourism's Dekho Apna Desh webinar series, which was titled Birding in India, was held on 12th of December 2020, and it focused on birds and birding opportunities in India. Okay, so that's why it was in news. So when we talk about Dekho Apna Desh, okay, so it is a kind of webinar series of the Ministry of Tourism, and so this Dekho Apna Desh comes under Ek Bharat Shresth Bharat. Okay, we are going to understand about Dekho Apna Desh. We are going to understand about Ek Bharat Shresth Bharat, and we are also going to understand, what do we mean by birding, and what are the economic opportunities that are available for India with reference to birding. Okay, birding means like watching the birds, okay, in the places where maximum number of birds reside or migrate. Okay, so this particular webinar was presented by, okay, Mr. Saurav Sawant. He is a naturalist, wildlife photographer, and a filmmaker with keen interest in studying, documenting lesser fauna. Okay, his research works mainly involve birds, amphibians, and odonates. Okay, so the thing is, you have to remember that birding in India was a recent, webinar, which was conducted by the Ministry of Tourism, Government of India. Okay, now let us understand little more about it. Okay, so when we talk about this particular item, so India's biodiversity is one of the richest in the world. Okay, from the Himalayas, desert, coast, rainforest, and the tropical islands, India represents almost all ecoregion found on the planet, and it is home with over 1300 exotic bird species. And if we name a few of such bird species, they are Indian roller, hornbills, Sarus crane, great Indian bustard, woodpeckers, kingfishers, and many more. Okay, so these are some of the exotic bird species that are found in India. So India has more than 1300 exotic bird species globally, and we find, almost all ecoregions that are found in the world. Okay, we find those ecoregions in India as well. Okay, so now let us understand about this Dekho Apna Desh webinar. Okay, so this Dekho Apna Desh webinar series is an effort to showcase India's rich biodiversity under Ek Bharat Shresth Bharat, and it is continuously spread of Ek Bharat Shresth Bharat through virtual platform. Okay, so let us understand about Ek Bharat Shresth Bharat. Okay, Ek Bharat Shresth Bharat program aims to enhance interaction and promote mutual understanding between people of different states or union territories through the concept of state or UT peering. Okay, so under Ek Bharat Shresth Bharat, they are trying to promote the interaction and mutual understanding between people of different states and union territories in India by peering them. Okay, these states carry out activities to promote a sustained and structured cultural connect in areas of language learning, culture, tradition and music, tourism, cuisine, sports, and sharing of best practices, etc. If you want to learn more about Ek Bharat Shresth Bharat, you can visit this particular link. It will take you to the website of Ministry of Tourism, and under that you will understand about Ek Bharat Shresth Bharat. Okay, so Ek Bharat Shresth Bharat comes under the Ministry of Tourism, Government of India. Okay, so let us understand what is the importance of birds. Okay, so the thing is, birds play a very important role in Indian culture. In mythology, different birds are associated as vahanas of gods and goddesses. Okay, so in mythology, different birds are associated with vahanas. Vahanas means carrying vehicle of gods and goddesses. Okay, so birds were associated with, they are considered as sarthis, or like, who are carrying the gods and goddesses to different places. Okay, so birds are also very close to human beings since ages, and it has always been very inspirational to man's life since Stone Age to the modern era. And from the Stone Age rock painting, cave paintings, Mughal paintings to modern era paintings, okay, birds and birds are integral part of life of human beings. Okay, so birds are found everywhere from Arctic to Antarctic in different sorts of climatic conditions. Okay, varied biodiversities and habitats. Birds not just sharpen our sense, okay, but it also brings us closer to the nature. Okay, nature education is very important. Okay, so this is the importance of birds. We will understand a little more. And when we talk about a travel enthusiast, okay, a person who is, like, who keeps on traveling from one place to another, they always like to explore and understand the local culture, to be with local communities and study their surrounding, eating or drinking habits, okay, tracking of animals, birds from the sounds they make, okay, marks on the pathways and scratches on the barks of the trees. So the thing is, enthusiasts keep a close eye on the movement of different kind of animals, birds, in the globe. So it's a fantastic world of experience. Birding is an activity which helps us to bring more close to the nature and local communities. And there are approximately 11,000 bird species around the world, and more than 13,000 species are found in India. 1,300 species are found in India. Okay. And when we talk about economic opportunities with reference to birding, then birding tourism is a billion-dollar industry across the globe. Okay, millions of international trips are taken every year for the main purpose of birding, and India has a huge potential due to its diverse biogeography of different terrains from Trans-Himalayas to the desert, Western Ghats, Deccan Peninsula, Gangetic Plains, Northeastern region and islands. Okay, so India is home to approximately 91,000 species of animals, birds, reptiles, amphibians and butterflies. Okay, so a lot of efforts are being taken at different levels by the government and non-governmental organizations to protect the species environment and creating awareness. Okay, so the thing is, someone well said that birding is your lifetime ticket to the theater of the nature. Okay, birding is your lifetime ticket to the theater of the nature. The formal scientific study of bird is called ornithology. Okay, so when we do scientific study of birds, it is known as ornithology. Okay, so this is an important keyword. Okay, just allow me a minute. So bird watching involves identifying birds, understanding their behavior for recreation. Okay, the fascinating hobby is becoming increasingly popular and enjoyed by all age groups. Okay, then it brings out the importance of Ek Bharat Shresth Bharat, connecting with different local communities, understanding the culture, like cuisine, and the experience that travelers gets is amazing. Okay, so the Dekho Apna Desh webinar series is presented in technical partnership with the National E-Governance Department of the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology. If you want to learn more, you can follow this reference link from Press Information Bureau. This is a very important topic from environment and ecology plus economy plus essay. Okay, it can be a potential essay topic also. So you should learn in detail about this, birding and tourism potential related to this. Now let us talk about the next topic, which is like we will understand about clarifications from the scientists related to the origin of this is petrosaurs. Okay, we will understand about petrosaurs, like origin of petrosaurs and the dinosaur era. These are the dinosaur era flying reptiles. Okay, so what has happened, what is the context in which it was in news? Scientists may have solved one paleontologist's enduring mysteries. Okay, the evolutionary origin of the flying reptiles, that they are known as pterosaurs, okay, that ruled the skies at the same time that the dinosaurs dominated the land. Okay, so when we talk about geological time scale, okay, geological time scale, so it talks about the history of evolution of the earth. Okay, using geological time scale we can understand the how the earth evolved. Okay, and how different species on the earth evolved and got extinct. Okay, so there was a time when dinosaurs dominated the land, and at that particular time there was some other species which is known as pterosaurs. Okay, pterosaurs, so they were the flying species. Okay, so they were the flying species of big animals. So we will understand some details related to the origin of these flying species. Okay, so this their origin is poorly understood. Okay, so the thing is they belong to a reptile group that are known as petids. Okay, so these pterosaurs belong to a group, they are known as ledger petids. Okay, they appear to have been the evolutionary predecessor, okay, or precursor to pterosaurs. Okay, so the thing is these petids, okay, ledger petids are precursors or predecessors of pterosaurs. Okay, so the thing is pterosaurs came later, they came first. So the thing is the ledger, okay, ledger petids are predecessors. So ledger petids came first, then came the pterosaurs. Okay, so researchers recently said that a poorly understood Triassic period, okay, when we talk about Jurassic period, Triassic period, like that, so like we have to refer to geological time scale. Okay, geological time scale we study under geography and geology. Okay, if you want to learn more, you can like refer a geological time scale. So researchers recently said that a poorly understood Triassic period reptile group, they are called Lagerpetids, known from a few partial skeletons from the United States, Argentina, Brazil, and Madagascar, appear to have been the evolutionary precursor to pterosaurs. Okay, so Lagerpetids, first appearing about 237 million years ago, were generally small and may have been bipedal insect eaters. So like these Lagerpetids were bipedal insect eaters, they could not fly, but pterosaurs became the earth's first flying vertebrates, with birds and then bats appearing much later. Okay, so the thing is these pterosaurs were the first earth's flying vertebrates. Okay, so we will understand in detail about it. Okay, this particular scientific study. The origin of pterosaurs has since one of the most, you know these are enigmatic issues, means like it is a most complicated issues of paleontology since the first discovery of pterosaurs in the late 18th century. Okay, so this was one of the statement made by a scientist. Okay, so that particular scientist said like it is one of the most complicated study, okay, related to origin of pterosaurs. Okay, so the oldest known pterosaur appear in the fossil record of about 220 million years ago, with anatomies fully developed for flight, including wings formed by a membrane extending from the ankles to an exceptionally elongated fourth finger. Okay, so these are the studies. You don't have to focus on like how how different organs were evolved, okay, in pterosaurs, but like we need to understand one thing, that pterosaurs, okay, were the successors, okay, of of an species that are known as ledger, okay, ledger petites. So I have already named it, okay, earlier. So these scientific names appear to be little difficult, okay, in nature, but you have to understand that pterosaurs were a species, okay, they were like first flying species on planet Earth, and they were one of the largest, flying species, okay. So they, existed on this planet Earth at the same time when the dinosaurs were there. They were, species that ruled over the land. So they were very big species, okay. So we know that, so these are, other like publications from the scientific journal, okay. So ledger petites were the precursor or predecessor of this pterosaurs, okay. So ledger petites also appear to be closely related to dinosaurs, okay. The oldest known dinosaur dates to about 233 million years ago. Then pterosaurs disappeared 66 million years ago in the asteroid collision that also doomed the dinosaurs, okay. So like there are different interpretations made by scientists related to the origin of pterosaurs, dinosaurs, and ledger petites, okay. So it is very important that ledger petites came first, then came the dinosaurs and pterosaurs, okay. So pterosaurs were the flying species, dinosaurs were the land dwelling species. They were the species that remained on the land, okay. If you want to learn more about it, you can follow this reference link from The Hindu, okay. So it will help you to understand more on this issue. And that's all that we had to discuss for the day. Thank you so much for attending the session. I hope you have a good day ahead.